first things first. Chris Broussard is back with us.
Hey, the world's greatest blog boy, Chris Broussard.
Hey, don't include me in
that. Separation. Warriors and Bucks from last night, and I wonder if Kevin Durant was thinking, you know, it's my first game back after missing 6 days with a rib injury. My team hasn't been playing well. A lot of my colleagues are out. I'll play 17 minutes, score just 10 points, and they get thrown out of the game. That's what happened. Durant tossed on his 5th rejection and 14th tech of the season right before the half. Steve Kerr said he was ejected for, quote, saying the magic word, and I doubt it was pleased. Kevin Durant spoke to the media after the game. This is what it sounded like.
This is your 5th ejection. It's the most in a while. Is there anything you can pinpoint? Is there anything that you've thought about over the course of these 5 that you can say, like, this is why it's happening more than in years past?
Usually just bad calls. I'm protesting. Pretty simple. you wanted a deeper reason? Oh, is that a character? Is it a character flaw that I get thrown out of games? I hope not. I hope you don't look at it that way. Jeez. No, just mainly just foul calls that I think they're wrong, and I tell them about it, and they don't like how I say it. I get tossed. I mean, I could definitely talk to them a little better, I guess.
I just want to clarify one thing real quick. If people didn't hear Durant's podcast, he kept calling he kept saying blog boy. So if people didn't know, I wasn't taking a shot at Chris Broussard, but the audience hadn't heard it.
He was.
That's all. But go ahead.
I
couldn't believe that.
You were smiling listening to Kevin Durant talk. What's going on?
First, let me say, and I'm not defending KD because he was definitely in the wrong, but I will say this. This is what players are talking about with the referees. I think the referee does need to have a little bit of a longer leash in this situation. Look, this was a late season game. Most people don't care. I was upset because I wanted to see KD back playing against Giannis and all that. But it's a late season game. Most people don't care. But the players are right. The fans come to see the superstars. And what players have told me is the older refs back in the day, they would talk with you. You might go at them, and they'll talk with you. It might be joking or something. The ref could have been like, look, KD, all right, I got you. Let it go, or I'm going to have to eject you. And then if KD keeps going, you can do it. But these young refs are just acting quickly, and I think that's a problem.
But, CB, this wasn't a 1-tech ejection. This was a 2-tech ejection.
But the 2 techs were right there.
Right, but
that's my point. After the first tech, again, KD was wrong. But what I'm saying is the ref could have been like, look, KD, relax, man, all right? I got you. Let it go, or I'm going to have to eject you. Maybe KD would have kept going and you eject him. I'm just saying the refs have some part in this stuff.
When was the last time anybody called you an MF?
I don't know.
Okay. So you don't know what your reaction would be. So I do understand. Now, these things can coexist. There could be a problem with the referees, and there could be a problem with KD. Now, the ref that you're talking about, he wasn't a young guy. You know what I'm saying? He's got a guy that
walked away.
Yeah. He walked away, but you have some no-go zones when you are a player. You know that there are certain things. This is the same thing that NFL went through with the Josh Norman and the Odell Beckham thing. The conduct between the players, or the relationship between the players, start becoming a little more adversarial than the NFL. So the NFL, they came between them. A lot like the NBA tried to do at the All-Star break. Yeah. So I believe there is an issue between the refs and the players. But that still does not give Kevin Durant the excuse on a Thursday night where he is coming back from being injured to be able to call a guy outside of his name the way that you know that you can get ejected. Knowing the response.
That's it. He knows it. He knows exactly what it takes to get ejected.
Well, here's the other thing with KD, too. He now, remember he said in January he thinks the refs were targeting him.
And then, yeah.
So now I'm sure they do have a shorter fuse with him because it's a human nature. If you call me out, if you call out my guys in my profession,
yeah,
I don't like you now.
But so
I'm going to have a shorter fuse.
He's also gone, he went back on that. He said the refs are targeting me. Then he came out and said, listen, guys, I watched the tape. I was wrong.
Yes.
I shouldn't have acted like that. Man, listen, obviously that should have been a foul call. Clearly that should have been a foul call. I watched LeBron from in person against the Nets last weekend think he should have gotten a foul call or think he shouldn't have gotten called for a foul, go up to the ref. It's the first quarter of a game against the Nets. And he said, and I quote, "I swear on my grandmother's grave I didn't touch him." There's
ways to talk about it.
And so, I mean, that might be an overreaction. It was an overreaction. But there are ways to do it without being thrown out of the game. And you're totally correct that we had a ref, one of the Warriors' ejections seemed to initiate a headbutt with Sean Livingston.
Yeah.
That was out of line. The refs it's been weird this year. But nobody's been ejected more than KD. KD's got 5 ejections on the year. Only 2 teams have more than that. One of them was involved in a brawl where a bunch of guys got ejected. The Suns, look at this. Suns 7, Raptors 6, KD 5, rest of Warriors 5.
And that's including Draymond.
Draymond's only got 3. How rare is it to be ejected 5 times in a season? Our data only goes back to 92. Since 1992, let me tell you the full list of players with more than 5 ejections in a season. Rasheed Wallace, that's the list. We are in now rare territory. And forget of the caliber of player for any player to be thrown out like this.
When does this go from being something that's bad for Kevin Durant and something that's bad for the Warriors?
It becomes bad for the Warriors if in the playoffs, now regular season, you 16 ejections, you miss a game. Playoffs is 7. So that's when it becomes really bad for them. They've dealt with Draymond. Now, I don't think they want 2 hotheads on the team necessarily, but they know how to handle Draymond.
When the Warriors were interviewing KD or courting him to come, do you think the guy on the court last night, when their owners and their head coach, you think that was the guy they thought they were getting?
No.
Okay.
But you think, look, I definitely don't think the owners or management is sitting there saying, we got a problem with KD.
No, but
Jenna,
you asked when will it hurt the Warriors? When will the Warriors be worried about it?
It hurt them last night. Andre Iguodala, him getting hurt, him having to start the second half. He's probably had his worst season he's had in a long time. It ends up happening to him in the third quarter.
But you think the management and ownership is like this?
No, they were separate. They were separate of each other. When you go through free agency, you go through this courtship of, man, this guy with Steph, because to me, the Warriors have a certain type of image. They will tolerate Draymond, but that's not the image that their ownership and their coaching staff that they want to have. They realize Draymond is a special player. When you get KD, you don't expect him to be this guy going to be thrown out of games, cussing people out like he is. Like, you don't expect that he's going to have the lack of a relationship with the media. With Steph being a media darling, you don't expect Durant to be the other way. These are things that have to be surprising to the management for Golden State.
It is I think it's surprising to everybody because even by his own admission to me, he was different in OKC. Now, he told me that guy in OKC was being phony, that nice guy. This is the real guy.
Yeah, so now we got Tupac playing in the NBA. Okay, so now he's tough. He like Tupac.
To me, it's strange. But the Warriors' image, though, has changed. With Steph throwing the mouthpiece, kind of squatting on the court.
That was bratty.
Saying I'm with the owner, though, saying we're light years ahead of everybody else.
They've always been arrogant. They've always been arrogant.
Yeah, and now they're a team that's disliked by a lot of people.
But this is the part. Listen,
this isn't helping anything.
You know,
and I
don't want it to be like I'm defending.
No,
KD,
I know. Absolutely.
I think I don't like the way he's acting.
And it was very interesting, and you saw it in the clip we just played. The lack of reaction from his teammates on the bench or on the court.
Yeah.
No teammate says a word to him. The teammates don't even look at him. Kerr doesn't walk towards him.
They actually got the ball back on the rebound. They still got possession. And they still complain.
Exactly.
So you actually know Kevin Durant. I do not. Right? So I watch him. I do what he's asked me to do, which is watch him play basketball. I wish we could just talk about him playing basketball. He did this podcast with Bill Simmons, 2.5-hour podcast. I think it's his 7th time on with him. So if you want to really get to know who KD is or who he's presenting himself to be, you should listen to these things because it's very interesting. In this podcast, he gets angry a lot. He gets upset quickly, but he also is adamant. I've never been happier. My life's amazing. I get paid a ton of money to play basketball. I go home and play Xbox. Like, everything's great. What do you think, as someone that at least knows him somewhat, is going on with him? Where's the angst coming from? Why is a guy who's been ejected twice in his career going into this season is now the second most ejected player in a single season in the last 25 years? I don't know.
It's strange. Like I said, he said that the guy in OKC was the phony. This is the real me. It's strange because KD, there's a part of KD that hangs out with pastors. I've talked to him about religion, you know, and then there's this part, you know, where it's bizarre. It's almost like he may be torn. You know, I don't know, and it's hard to fathom. And he shocked me because I've said I thought the real KD was OKC, and this guy I thought it looks phony. He said, no, it's the other way around.
But that would have been justifiable. Like, we would have understood that a little bit more, and I think fans would be a little bit more okay with it if...
What he may not understand. He's hurting his image.
Yeah. All right.
In an incredible way.
Chris Broussard, love having you here. Your insight is fantastic.
Appreciate you, brother.
Have a great weekend.
It's fun all week, man. Thank you.
Coming up, can Giancarlo Stanton challenge the home run record? Next on First Things First.
We was looking for Tupac. He playing for the Warriors. He playing the 4 for the Warriors.
Tupac is tatted on his thigh.